Hi, friends. Welcome to the very first Happily Even After Betrayal, the Friday check-in. I want this to be a space you can come to every Friday where we talk about what's happening in your life, in my world, and in the bigger world through the lens of healing from betrayal. Some weeks this will be practical, some weeks it'll be emotional, and some weeks it'll just be a reminder that you're not crazy for feeling the way you do. If you're here because betrayal has touched your marriage, your family, or even your sense of self, this is for you. First off, we're going to talk about my podcast. If you don't know this, I have a podcast called Happily Even After Betrayal with Life Coach Jen, and you can find it on any podcast place that you like to listen to a podcast or any platform. This is my 5th season of doing my podcast, and I'm really proud of that. And my goal this year is to help it get out to more and more people. And this is one of the ways that I'm going to do it. I'm going to first let you know that I have a podcast, and I think it's pretty good. This week on my podcast, I had a guest, and we talked about self-betrayal with my friend Hazel Mason. And the reason I wanted to highlight it here is because so many of you not only have been betrayed, yet you continue to betray yourselves, which is exactly what I did. And if you've ever made yourself smaller to keep the peace, this conversation will feel like a mirror and a map to unpack self-betrayal. The quiet ways we trade our needs, values, and voice for approval, and why it can feel impossible to stop when your nervous system equates attachment with safety. Hazel shares her path through infidelity, abusive relationships, and recovery, and how experiential coaching helps women turn insight into action. So I hope you go listen to my podcast, and I would love it if you would leave a review and let me know what you think. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, I would love that so much. You're welcome to email me if you want to share your story, if you have something to say. That would be great. Or if you think there's a guest that you listen to that you like, that you're like, you need to have this person on, send me an email. Let me know. I would love that information. So what's going on in my world this past week? Well, I've been in Vegas, which is so fun. If you like Vegas, I like Vegas in like 48-hour doses. I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do all the things that people go to Vegas to do, but I love live entertainment. And so my daughter and I, we went to a concert. If you have ever heard of Zayn from One Direction, all of the band members from One Direction, they broke off and they're all individual artists. And so he rarely tours. And so we went to his concert, and it was really very intimate and beautiful. And there was some good songs. Like one song, I Would Die For You. It's going to be released soon. It's one of his new songs, and it's for sure about betrayal. And so I think you might like it. I loved it because so often our spouses say, I'll do anything for you. I will die for you. And then you're like, can you please stop the affair? Or can you tell me the truth? Can you be honest with me? And they're like, oh, I won't do that. I'm not going to do that, but I would die for you. And so this is tricky. This is irritating. This is hurtful. Another thing that I've started doing, I had my first live event in January, and my next live event will be in February 6th at 6:30 to 8. And so if you live in Utah, more importantly, the Wasatch Front, Davis County, you will know if you know, I would love for you to come to my event. It's for women right now. It's just women. I haven't started a men's one yet, but if you're interested in having a men's group, let me know. I'm totally open to it. But for right now, this is for women who have been betrayed or are divorced. And you don't have to be like, it could have happened 20 years ago. And you're like, I just want to meet with high vibe women who want to learn and grow together. That's kind of what this event is. I like being creative. I like teaching. I like helping, brainstorming together. Anyways, last month was my first one, and it was so much fun. We had such a great time. And so I hope if this is something you're interested in, let me know and I will send you the link. It's $25, very low cost. I do rent the venue that I'm having it at. So my goal there is just to cover those costs of having the actual event, but also just to get to know people and women who might need a friend or just need to connect with someone. So that's coming up. Also, there's only a few more days to enroll in my 2026 Healing Reset. That is $226. It's a great deal. You get my 6-week video course, which is forever. You get that forever, along with the PDF workbook, as well as 2 private coaching sessions with me and 2 weeks of Voxer coaching, which is, in my opinion, the best because it is 24/7 coaching through this app called Voxer. And you can ask me questions, you can vent, you can give me a daily check-in, you can just say, hey, I need to just say this to someone that's safe. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy? I'm going to tell you, no, you're not crazy. You're just struggling, you're just healing. And so I love the Voxer app. And I love having my clients have it because I know for me, there were many times like you just can't call your friend and tell them, especially if they've never experienced betrayal. So having someone that has experienced betrayal, that knows exactly where you are, but that can help you get out of it so you're not stuck in that. Remember, if you're like, I don't want to buy something if I've never met Jennifer and I don't know if I'm going to connect with her, you can set up a free consult call that's 30 minutes. And I love when people do this because sometimes you just need to say it to someone and that's it. And that's okay. And that's enough. Feel free to sign up for a call and I'll have all this information in the show notes or whatever they're called on YouTube, in the details of YouTube, or maybe on my video screen if I can figure that out. Anyway, so now moving on, what's happening in the world of betrayal? So if you don't know, if you've never heard of the Beckham wedding drama that's going on, I find it fascinating that these 2 uber wealthy, famous families, the drama between the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law, Victoria Beckham, supposedly a dance. And I am not here for the drama necessarily. It just caught my attention, and I think it involves family dynamics, which is my life too. I have a lot of family dynamics, and I'm sure most of you do too. And I'm not here to analyze their private lives. I just want to talk about it. I'm interested in how many people resonated with the idea of this relational rupture. Hey, our life sucked, but we want to watch your life and see how much that sucks because it seems like your life is perfect. It wasn't necessarily an affair, but a moment where someone felt excluded, replaced, or pushed aside, which are all feelings that we have in betrayal. And I think this matters because betrayal isn't always physical. It's not always sexual. Betrayal is in the moment you realize I'm no longer safe or prioritized in this relationship. So betrayal can look like many things. The things that I usually help people with are their spouse did have a sexual relationship with someone else, or they had an emotional relationship with someone else, or they were having a computer relationship. I know that's not the right word, but through pornography, they're a digital relationship. And that's painful. It is so painful. But I just thought it was fascinating. I see this all the time with my clients, and especially after divorce happens and you're comparing yourself or judging yourself or how other family members are acting. So there's just a lot of drama. So I just thought this moment kind of related to what I talk about. And I think what makes it so painful for people when people say like, oh, it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal to them and it hurt. So we can't judge them for feeling a certain way because they have a lot of money or because of who their families are, whatever. It still hurts, right? And it's nice to feel acknowledged. And your nervous system knows that it was a big deal, that it felt important. So if you've ever thought, why does this hurt so much when nothing technically happened? This is why, because your nervous system was feeling like, this feels off, this feels hurtful. Betrayal is often broken trust, not just broken vows. That is important to know. Trust is important. And the person I want you to focus on having trust with is yourself. So often we focus on the other person. Can we trust them? But we need to trust ourselves first, and then we'll know if we want to trust them or not. So something I want you to think about is secrets never stay secret. I've had 2 people contact me this week that have found out their spouse had a child while they were married, yet they're only finding out about it 30 plus years later. This secret was kept from them, and no wonder they feel betrayed. It's so devastating. I always tell people, don't just sweep everything under the rug, because I promise it will eventually come out. And this is a perfect example of it eventually coming out in the form of a human. And talk about devastating. And so you just created so many more problems for yourself. In moments when we lack judgment or make a wrong choice or do something, it is so much better. I know it feels hard and scary to say the truth. To speak your truth is hard. But I guarantee it's a million times harder 30 plus years later when now there's actually a human involved, right? Or there could be a million other things. You have a disease or your spouse dies, and then that's when they find out you were cheating on them. Devastating. It's cruel, it's mean. And I always hear, well, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. Hurt their feelings now as opposed to 30 years later. I promise it will go over much better. It's okay. Our feelings can be hurt. We're adults. We can deal with it. And so just consider that. What are you keeping secret? And you know it would be better if you expressed that. So I just wanted to highlight a few reviews that I've gotten recently. The first one is from Jason, and I'm going to say what surprised you most about coaching. And he said just how much Jen really knows about how betrayal can affect a person and how much it can send our nervous system and get it out of whack, which is so true. Okay, and then Brian said what surprised him the most about coaching is that we just didn't talk. It wasn't all about the affair. I think that's what he was expecting to talk about, but we talked about other things. And then Stacy said what surprised her the most about coaching. And she says that she really didn't mind doing all the worksheets. I have a 160-page workbook, which I'm working on because that's a lot and it's overwhelming for some people. But I really think we need to learn new skills and in lots of modalities. And so one of them is reading a question, really thinking about it and writing it down. And so thank you so much for those thoughts. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here this Friday. I just want to be more present and let you know what's going on. And I send you emails every day. I'm hoping to give you a little bite-sized nugget of something to think about, but some of you don't know what I look like. You don't know who I am. So I thought this would be a good way to get to know me, for you to see my office. This is where I work. This is where I coach people. I find this is a very sacred place for me. We do a lot of healing in this room, and that's what I want for you, is to be able to heal. Because you totally can heal from betrayal. It is the message. If you think of me, I want you to know that, oh yeah, life coach Jen, she believes it's possible to heal. And I totally do. And I want you to believe that too. I know it feels overwhelming. I know it can feel hard and impossible, but it is totally possible. So have a beautiful weekend. I have so much love and appreciation for each of you. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you've found me through listening to my podcast, so many of you have found me on social media. If you are on social media, I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Happily Even After Coach. Come find me. I really love creating reels. I think actually this week I might reach 15,000 followers on Instagram, which if you know that is quite an accomplishment to do. I have spent probably 3 years building that account. And really in the past year, it has exploded. I don't do it for myself to get recognition because I don't consider myself an influencer. If I am an influencer, I'm an influencer to get you to call me, to sign up for a call, and then hire me to be your coach. That's how I want to influence you. But whether you hire me or someone else, I just want you to get help because I myself was stuck in a miserable rut for decades. And I don't want that ever again for anyone else in my life or for myself. I know the resources were different back then. So glad you're here. Thanks for listening to this. I hope it was helpful. Have a great day, and I will see you next Friday.